So let's go through setting up an auction page. Okay, and as we're going through it, any questions or queries, just call out. Okay.
Okay.
So let's move down to auctions. Click on create an auction page. So we put in the title of our auction page and a description. So every page has a name and description, as you know. And then on every page, you can display the total generated by that page. And by the way, for auctions, that's the total of the highest bids, because you don't get the money until afterwards. It still represents the total of the highest bids.
Okay.
And also you can display the total number of bidders who have bid and the share button. And then you've got the page URL. And so because you've got a branded platform, this will be your own branded platform URL.
Okay.
Now you've got bidding start and end dates. So let's just say the auction has already started, and then bidding end dates. Again, they could be whatever time, even up to second that you like. Now we've also got the win notification. Now what this means is at the end of the auction, so after the auction bidding dates have finished, and I think it's the next day in actual fact, the system will send out an email to the highest bidders to let them know that they've won, with a pay link as well. Okay. Now you can turn that on and off depending if you want to notify the winners or not. Okay. Now if you're going to notify the winners, then the pay link is in the auction bid report as well. Yeah, I can show you that in a moment. Right, so we've got anti-sniping. So I know one of your questions before was, could we relate anti-sniping to each auction item? We couldn't do that reliably. Okay. So now anti-sniping is related to the whole auction. So what anti-sniping means is that human behavior is generally, for an auction, people will always bid in the last couple of minutes because they think they're going to get the item. So anti-sniping means if, for example, people bid within the last 5 minutes, then extend the auction by 5 minutes. Okay. And so again, you can turn that off if you want or not, which means that the auction end date will be essentially the end date defined here.
Yeah. Okay.
Right, I don't know if we had this last year, but we got silent auction mode. Now, without silent auction mode, what happens is when somebody bids on an item, they're going to get an email to say that they've made a bid on that item. Now, if somebody outbids them for that item, the original person will be sent an email to say that they're outbid as well.
Okay.
And then in both cases, on both of those emails, there'll be a link to come back to the auction page and to make another bid. Okay.
Right.
Now, what silent auction mode does, it essentially takes out the email to the person who's been outbid.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Okay.
So they never find out, so they have to go in big.
Yeah, they never find out. And again, what you've got here, you've got one structure of auction, but you're presenting it in different ways.
Yeah.
Okay, so just with these parameters here, again, you can have a hard end date with no anti-sniping, which is a very different type of auction to have an end date which is variable because you've got sniping on.
Yeah.
And then if you add the silent auction factor as well, with those three variables, you've got many different combinations of potential auctions you can offer your supporters.
Okay. I don't think we'd use it for this one, but that is good to know that you can do it. So.
Yeah, good. Now with our auctions, you can obviously change the theme. I think on your branded platform, you've got multiple themes. You can add multiple images into the main page. If you add multiple images, it will be an image carousel. You can embed your social media hooks. So for example, if you've got a YouTube share URL, you can enter that and the video will appear in the page as well. And that's the basic setup for an auction. You've got a few other things, but I think just go and check these out in your own time. Okay. So let's press create on that. And then the system will ask you to allocate a campaign. And then this is where we add our auction prizes. So a prize has a name and a description. And you can also associate multiple images to it as well.
Yeah.
You have a reserve price, a starting bid price, and a bid increment as well. So after the auction has finished, and just say it's an automatic win notification, win notifications won't be sent out if the highest bid hasn't exceeded the reserve price, for example.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Right. So if we now press create on that, okay, and view, very quickly we've created a functional auction page. If you added YouTube video links here, if you added images here, they would appear in this space here. It says when it is. You can also now add the bidding dates to your calendar as well, which is cool.
Okay. Yeah, I like that.
And obviously now I can go on bid on the item. The system will increment the bid to the next bid according to the bid increment. And then I put in my details here, and the system will send me an outer email once I've bid.
Okay.
Right. Let's come back and add a little detail to the auction item. So one of the things in your use case is that you want to describe more of what the
Yeah.
auction item is.
So we had like a separate page for each item, didn't we? Yeah.
Yeah, that's correct. Now, you can have as many auction items as you like, and you can have multiple images associated to each auction item. But again, well, I think we call them detail pages actually, whereby you can have a page specific for auction items themselves. So let me show you how to do that. If we come back to your control panel, go to auctions. If we view the auction pages again, from there, I can list the auction items and I can create a detail page.
Yeah. Okay, I remember now.
Okay. So a detail page is just a page in its own right, but it understands its context. So it knows that it's linked, say, to an auction item, and in that case, it will show the bids related to that auction item, and also it will have a link back to the auction page as well.
Great.
Okay.
Okay.
So let's just describe it. So our specific auction item. There's a short description and there's a longer description. You can have the share button as well, and it's got its own URL as well.
Great. Yeah.
Okay, so I think in your case, whereby you're auctioning off trees, each tree can have its own detail page. You can market those particular trees, say, come to this trees page, and from that you can
Yeah.
make a bid.
Perfect.
Also, what you can do on the detail page is you can obviously add a theme. You can add as many images as you like. It will present the images in the dimensions that you upload.
Yeah. Okay.
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 So what we'll do is we will add 2 images. And again, an image carousel will appear. And you'll see the point of you really want to have all images the same dimensions. You can also add social media hooks as well, and you can also associate documents. So, for example, if you've got a PDF that describes the tree or the prize itself, it'll embed into the page as well.
Oh, that's clever. Okay.
Right. Let's now view the page. So we come back to our auction page again. Again, it could have been themed, etc. And let's just make a bid on this first. Okay, so I'll put in my details. Right, and these sorts of things you can turn off as well, should you want. Okay, now I place my bid, and if I now look at my email, here it says, Dear Nathan, you have just placed a bid to auction item, and I've got a link back to the auction page itself.
Yeah.
Okay. If I click on further information, it will show, can you see the images have now been moved to the left-hand side?
That's good.
Can you see? Now here, I've got the list of bids. And again, you'll probably want a longer description, short description, long description. I can go back to the auction page or I can make another bid,
Okay, great.
which is pretty cool. So let's now make another bid. And can you see the bid has been incremented? Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, the system has also auto-filled my details to
Yeah.
make, reduce user friction. Now, if I click bid, it will fail because it will say, R's the last bidder.
Ah, right. Okay. So you
Yeah,
can't outbid yourself.
that's
Yeah.
right. And so this is done on email address. So if I now change the email address and now bid, the bid
It
will be
lets
put
you.
in, which is great. Again, the current bid is £11 because that's what I've just bid. I've just placed a bid for £11 in my email. And then if I go to my original, I've got an outbid alert.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
And then
which is
you've got the link to go back and rebid.
that's right. So
Yeah.
I can go back to the auction page, and again, this has been updated. If I had put the control of how much is generated on the page, that would also display £11 now. And if I go to my further information page, I can see my bid history,
Great. Okay.
which is which is pretty cool. So that's the basics of setting up an auction page.